This is Andy Waits, and I have some dictorial notes about this scene with George and Jerry takes place in Monk's Café. And Monk's is, in and of itself, a character. The booths, the square tables, the cashier, the payphone, the entire place is a classic. It's not just a backdrop, it's an emotional container. It shapes the rhythm, the tension, the comedy. Remember, the coffee shop energy is part of this scene's DNA. They're trapped, they're compressed. All the comedy has to come from the upper body. George says, do you ever think that you get the feeling you've had a haircut, but you didn't have one? Now, that's an interesting question, but it's just another one of George's annoying observations. The kind that reveals the constant state of a low-grade panic. Jerry expresses his impatience immediately. He puts his hands together and physically, with a disgusted cadence, rubs his face on his eyes. Oh, God. Jerry's physicality becomes the dialogue exclusively. He doesn't have to say, George, you're exhausting. He doesn't need to say, what are you talking about? And he needs not say, please stop. He communicates all of it with no words. The hands pressed together, the slow drag across his face, the eye wipe, the head tilt, the neck recoil, the microflinch, the half turn away. It's a physical sigh, a bodily eye roll, a gesture-based punchline. Now, George continues his disturbance. He says, I'm all itchy back here. Jerry pulls his hands from his eyes, leans his head back. Oh, geez. A confused and frustrated expression on his face. George says, what? Jerry says, what are we doing? Now we are getting somewhere. Jerry always pulls us back to reasonableness. Now, George is dehydrating me. So excuse me, just let me get a sip of water. Okay, Jerry continues preaching, or maybe Socratically teaching. What in God's name are we doing? What? Says George. What kind of lives are these? We're like children. We're not men. George says, no, we're not. We're not men. Quickly, George snaps into reason. Jerry then says, we're pathetic. You know that. And George responds, like, I don't know that I'm pathetic. George Costanza is a man who collapses under the weight of his own self-image. He degrades himself before anyone else can, and he does it with a kind of tragic, comic precision. Jerry, meanwhile, is the counterweight. the hybrid straight man whose genius is that he can deliver an entire message without a single word. His body does the talking, his hands, the head tilt, the eyes, the posture, even the toes. Jerry's second genius is verbal. He punctuates George's spirals with clean, authoritative lines that double as the punchline and the moral. When Jerry says, "What kind of lives are these? We're like children. We're not men." He's not joking. He's diagnosing the entire mythology of their world. Another episode of nothing that becomes everything, the mythic comedy of Seinfeld.